Welcome, everybody, to the Final Score. I'm your host, Nicholas Marcinov, and today I am joined here finally by another living person, Chris, the Dolphins fan. Tell me how you've been, man.
Well, after last week's kick to the nuts from the Jets, after making so many nut-kicking jokes against them, not too good. But I'm watching the Dodgers right now as we're recording this, so that's a plus.
And they're losing, yeah?
Yeah, that's a minus.
There you go. That's another flick to the nuts, if you have to ask me. But
yeah.
Welcome everybody to the show. As you heard, I am Nicholas Marcinov. I am the host of this show. I've challenged my friends to a who can predict the NFL season best, where at the end of the Super Bowl, whoever has the best record will get a jersey out of where?
Your pocket.
Oh my gosh, give me a little enthusiasm, man.
Pocket!
My pocket! Yeah! It's gonna be making me broke. All right. And so, as it currently stands, I am in first place with an overall record of 50-30, followed by Ben and you, Chris. Actually,
Yes.
You guys are tied at 46-34.
Okay.
Followed by Tanner, who's 40-40, so he's right down the middle. But then DJ, he's not having a very good season. He's 32-48. So something wild would have to happen. He's down an entire week at this point. More than an entire week. He's down a week and 2 games. That's
Ouch.
a big ouch. But that's okay, because anything could happen. We saw major comebacks, especially in that first season whenever Tanner was down. I think it was 8 points and he won the whole thing. So
wasn't that last year?
He bounced back last year as well, but both seasons he was down and then he bounced back.
Yeah.
So anything can happen. Let's go ahead and get into this first game. Let's stop wasting time. It is the Washington Commanders at the Chicago Bears. I know we didn't talk about who's going first, but I'm going to go first. Dodgers did something.
The Mookie Betts hit a double.
All
So
right. Let's go, Mookie. All right, so the Washington Commanders at Chicago Bears. You know, the Bears are currently averaging the worst passing offense. They are on set to have the worst average passing yards per game since 1980. That's not a good sign. David
No.
Montgomery, they misspelled his last name on his jersey against the Vikings. The NFL hates the Chicago Bears for some reason. And then the Washington Commanders are a terrible organization. I said that last week when you weren't here. They're just bad. However, Carson Wentz, he does show flashes that he's not an actual, terrible QB. And so with that in mind, I'm going to have to go with the Washington Commanders. And since I don't actually have their logo, just accept this "be right back" sign as I'm out of my freaking mind and I need to come back. Your pick.
Yeah, after last week, I chose the Bears, and I wasn't too impressed. The Commanders are showing a little bit of sign of life. They are one of the worst teams right now, but I feel like with the little bit of life that they have had, they might be able to pull it off. Yeah, I'm not too confident in the Bears. I'm about them right now.
Something needs to change. They're wasting Justin Fields, and I didn't even think he was all that great of a draft pick to begin with, but they're wasting him.
Oh yeah.
Let's go ahead and move on to the first of the Sunday games. It's the Baltimore Ravens at the New York Giants, and bro, you get a pick first. What are you feeling in this one?
Well, God, after last week, the Giants have been really doing well, surprisingly.
Yeah. Sneaky
and
good.
They're being very sneaky good. And I don't remember who Baltimore played last week.
Bengals.
Bengals, and they won on a field goal.
Correct.
That just kind of shows you that Baltimore may not be as good as they are, hyped up to be. Now, maybe this is just me, blowing smoke out of my butt, but I'm going to go with the Giants. They're at home. They're doing well. Daniel Jones is finally actually throwing some good passes. So you know what? I didn't think I was ever going to say this, but I'm going to go with the Giants again.
They're going up against Lamar Jackson. They lost to Cooper Rush. The Green Bay Packers just fell apart. I'm sorry. I'm going with the Ravens.
That's okay.
As long as they don't get up to a 17-point lead, they should win, because it seems like 17 and more, every team just comes back on them for some reason.
Yeah, definitely.
All right, let's move on to the Jacksonville Jaguars at Indianapolis Colts. It's an AFC South divisional matchup, and this game, oh my gosh, it's so bad. The Colts are coming off of that horrible game against the Broncos on Thursday night.
Oh, God.
And yeah, just saying it, it's like, it makes me, puke in my mouth a little bit. Disgusting game. And then the Jacksonville Jaguars, they went up against the Houston Texans. They had 400 rushing yards and no touchdowns. And the Texans are begging you. They're begging you to get into their end zone. And the Jacksonville Jaguars are allergic to scoring. I have to give it up to the team that's won most recently. So give it to the Indianapolis Colts. Do I have them? I do have them. Sorry, Jaguars. I love the franchise, but you guys might need to work on it.
You know what? I actually agree with you. Broncos, I will say, even though that their offense is terrible, their defense is pretty stellar. Even without Von Miller, and I think Jacksonville's defense isn't as good and is kind of lackluster. So I think the Colts might have a chance this time. Hopefully, they don't just score 9 and get off the field.
Well, we'll have to wait and find out for that one. Let's go ahead and move on to the next matchup. This one's yours, buddy. It is the New England Patriots at the Cleveland Browns.
Oh, man. You know what? I don't even know. Okay, these teams are actually at the same record. I would never have guessed that the New England Patriots would ever be below 500. Sorry, didn't distract me.
You're on this show, Chris.
Yeah, I know. I'm sorry. I'm watching this show. I'm on this show. You know what? These two teams, I feel like need a little bit more pop to them. Is Mac Jones still out?
Why don't you keep talking and I'll look it up.
Okay, so Browns, I don't even remember how they did last week. To be honest, last week was kind of a blur to me. I don't even know what happened. See, let me see what they did last week. Oh, they lost to the Chargers, and the Chargers are not doing that great either. And New England, who did they play?
So he's questionable. They're not budging on whether he's healthy or not.
You know what? Give me a coin flip for this one, because I feel like the Patriots beat the Lions, and the Lions are pretty bad right now. They didn't allow them to score once, and the Browns are just the Browns are just as equally as bad, I feel. So yeah, give me a coin flip. Go heads. Heads Patriots, tails Browns.
That's what I thought. Yeah. Oh, it fell down to the floor. It is tails, my good friend. So you are going with the Browns. I am going to say Mac Jones is not going to be happy, and so I'm going with the Browns also, just because I like what Jacoby Brissett's doing with the Browns. Like, he barely lost to the LA Chargers last week. It's not that bad. I'm definitely worried whenever Deshaun Watson comes back, though, because who knows how he's going to play. He's been out of the league for 2 years. And we got to be fair. If we're going to say Colin Kaepernick can't come back because he's been out of the league for like 6 years, Deshaun Watson hasn't played in a year and a half. Like, he's not going to be Deshaun Watson right away.
No, definitely not.
Cincinnati Bengals at the New Orleans Saints. Cincinnati, they have no offensive line. They seem like a snake-bitten team. They feel like they're on the Super Bowl hangover despite not winning the Super Bowl hangover. And then the Saints, man, the 2 wins that we had are like the gritty wins where everything just has to go right for us to win. And every other game, we're just terrible. And it shows because the offense is bad. And the defense isn't as good as we thought it was going to be. The Bengals actually have a decent defense, except for Eli Apple. Screw that guy. He's terrible. I'm going to have to go with Cincy. If I'm being completely honest, we're trying to complete the bird gauntlet this season, and I'm making a bold prediction to say we'll beat that, but that'll be our only 5 wins.
Yeah, I'm going to have to agree. The Saints really didn't impress me last week. The Bengals are doing okay for, being a team that, is going off of a hangover from last year, but just they're looking a tiny teensy bit better than the Saints this year.
Yep. Also, I hate Zach Taylor. If anybody's followed the Zoom show for the longest time, I hate Zach Taylor. I don't think he's a good head coach. All right, moving on to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers at the Pittsburgh Steelers. Go ahead.
Okay, we got Tom Brady and the Bucs going to Pittsburgh, which Pittsburgh is absolutely stinking it up this year.
Yeah.
I think this is going to be like the first year that they're going to be going below 500.
Oh,
and
definitely.
God knows how long.
Yep.
Trubisky's been trying his best, if you can call it
benched.
that. He got benched for the rookie Pickett, and Pickett's I think getting thrown into the limelight like that kind of put a damper on him. So he's excited to be in that spot, but at the same time, I think nerves have been a little bit rattled. So I don't think he's going to be doing too much against a pretty stacked Tampa Bay Buccaneers team. I'm gonna have to go with the Bucs.
I'm going with the Bucs also. Steelers are just bootios this season, plain and simple. Okay, moving on to the San Francisco 49ers at the Atlanta Falcons. If I could be completely honest, and I don't want to give them too much credit, I've been slightly impressed by the Atlanta Falcons. Like, they're coming back in games. Marcus Mariota is not playing terribly in a Falcons uniform. They're doing some good stuff. But the San Francisco 49ers defense, man, like, that's the game changer. Jimmy Garoppolo is keeping everything steady. The 49ers defense is going nuts. I'm going with the 49ers because that defense is too good, and the Falcons offense is not quite there yet. But I will give them credit. They are starting to impress me just a little bit.
They're starting to impress me a little bit too, and I'm going to pick them this week just to be a little bit different. Just to be a little bit different. And I want the Falcons to do good. I'm hoping that they could pull this win off after, a terrible loss, a terrible end last week, where they got called on roughing the passer, even though it should have been a sack. I mean,
No, he's a felon. He's going to get arrested for what he did to Tom Brady.
I mean, I was going to say something, but I'll save it for later.
Sure. Okay, that's it?
Yeah, that's it.
All right, let's move on. That was awkward. Let's talk about how about the Minnesota Vikings at the Miami Dolphins? Chris, I can see the look of excitement on your face as you're nodding your head in excitement for this matchup. You're wearing a hat that says Dolphins because you know that they are a good team. No cap.
Actually, I'm going to take the cap off.
So it was Cap.
Yeah, it was cap. You know what? The Dolphins had a great start to the season. You know, they beat Buffalo, they beat New England. You know, it was a good run. But just with Tua going down as bad as he did, and Teddy Bridgewater going down as he did, we're stuck with our third straight quarterback, our rookie that we drafted this past draft. Tyreek Hill is, I think, questionable at the moment. They're hoping that he plays. Jalen Waddle is kind of injured too. Our defense is injured. We're all just injured in this team. I'm injured to the heart. So I'm going to have to give it to the Vikings. The Vikings are actually doing pretty dang good this year. Their defense is looking stellar. They're actually getting all good use of all of their offense, it feels like, this year. Dolphins just don't have it this week. I'm sorry.
No, there's too much going on with the Dolphins in terms of quarterback. I think they're going to be stuck starting their seventh round pick quarterback like they did. This is not a game the Vikings should lose.
No.
If they do, we're going to have some questions for Ben.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you're watching this, Ben, we're going to have some questions.
Ben, if you're watching this, if you're one of the 20 people, we got questions, brother. All right, I guess I'll take over for this next pick. It's the New York Jets at the Green Bay Packers. New York Jets, they got a win over your Dolphins last week. You kind of briefly mentioned that. They just took advantage of a good situation. But I think Zach Wilson is now 2-0 since his return. So he's not playing too bad. He's playing relatively well. The Jets, you know, I still don't see them as a good team. And the Packers, they're not a good team either. But whenever I'm looking at the quarterback situation, I have to go with the Green Bay Packers, even though Aaron Rodgers is not throwing to anybody special. He's basically throwing to people they found on a bus one day. So, yeah, give me the Packers.
You know, it's just a matter of which Aaron Rodgers are we going to see, the Aaron Rodgers on the field or the Aaron Rodgers in the stands. Hopefully this week it's Aaron Rodgers on the field and he doesn't get embarrassed by another New York team.
Dude, I love that you made that reference because it's like every game now. It's like, oh, there's his doppelganger.
Yeah.
And, no, what you said was beautiful. Go ahead and talk to us about the Carolina Panthers at the LA Rams.
Man, talk about Super Bowl hangovers. The Rams are doing terrible. I mean, not like I'm not saying that they're, you know, the worst team in the league, but it's just bad for them right now. It just seems like Matthew Stafford's having trouble finding anything right now. His defense is doing okay, but just the offense is not looking as stellar as it was. Not saying that Carolina is doing any better, but just, I don't know. I think I'm going to go with the Rams on a safe pick because I just feel like they are the better team right now. Just Carolina is bad. I can't find my Rams. Where's Rams? There. Okay.
I gotta go with the Rams too. They disappointed me last week against the Cowboys. They need to get their stuff together. Knowing Sean McVay, this won't last very long, but right now it's not looking good.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. All right, moving on to the Arizona Cardinals at the Seattle Seahawks. Chris, let me ask you just really quick, is there a Call of Duty 2X weekend this weekend?
I have no idea. I haven't played Call of Duty in months.
Okay, so I'm going to probably say no. I think that was last weekend whenever they played whoever they did and lost. I forgot who. Doesn't matter. But so if they're not doing the XP this weekend, Kyler Murray should be at 100%, should be good to go. going up against the Seattle Seahawks, who are a dookie team, but Geno Smith is just revitalizing his career all of a sudden. Yeah, I'm going to go with the Cardinals. Where are they? It is a divisional matchup, so anything can happen. But I'm going with the Cards.
Ew. Good thing you did too, because I'm going with the dry rub.
Hey.
The Cardinals actually did pretty decent last week with the Philadelphia Phillies. Philadelphia Phillies. Stop it. The Philadelphia Eagles. The Eagles are a scary team right now, but they just barely lost. And I mean, not saying that Seattle barely lost their game. I mean, they only lost by a touchdown, but their defense is just shot. Their offense, like you said, Geno Smith is revitalizing his career, and I just feel more comfortable picking the Cardinals.
Yeah. Okay, so you're going to talk about this matchup, which is going to be a huge matchup. Buffalo Bills at Kansas City Chiefs. How is this not even on prime time?
To be honest, I don't even know, and I don't even know how the matchup that is on prime time got onto prime time.
I could tell you exactly how, but whatever.
Yeah, I mean, we all know why, but
yeah.
So this is actually a rematch of last year's AFC championships. No, not championship.
Yeah. No, you're right, because Bengals won the championship.
Yeah.
So divisional
series, where the Bills had a heartbreaking loss when Patrick Mahomes went freaking sicko mode and somehow scored in 10 seconds.
13. I was live streaming.
13 seconds. But the Bills this year are hungry. They want to go to the Super Bowl, and I can see it. I'm going to go with the Bills. I know a lot of people say, oh, don't count the Chiefs out. Don't count the Chiefs out. Yeah, I know not to count the Chiefs out, but I don't know. Bills just seem so damn good this year that they don't want to lose this matchup.
It's a toss-up, honestly. And I feel so wrong for doing this, but I'm going with the Chiefs.
That is totally fine.
And yours is totally fine too. It's like you could go either way. Yeah, dude, I think this is just going to be an exciting matchup, but I also feel like this rivalry, this Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes rivalry, it's just going to be one of these things where it's little brother just can't seem to beat big brother until it truly matters.
Yeah.
And right now it doesn't matter. And they're in Kansas City. So we'll just have to wait and see.
Yes, we will.
All right, let's move on to the Sunday night main event. It is the Dallas Cowboys at Philadelphia Eagles. Dallas Cowboys are undefeated with Cooper Rush at quarterback, and the Philadelphia Eagles are just undefeated. This division is looking like the toughest one, but I really don't think it is. I feel like there's a lot going on that is making everything look better. Like I keep saying every week, the Eagles aren't as good as their record says they are. They're getting the wins, and that's great, but hey, if you remember 2 years ago, the Steelers went 11-0 before they suffered their first loss. And what happened? They got bounced by the Browns. So the Eagles, they don't look like a great team to me. However, they're going to be good enough to beat the Dallas Cowboys. I think Cooper Rush's magic ends this week, and then the next week we'll see the return of Dak Prescott.
Man, I really want to pick the Cowboys because Cooper Rush is undefeated. It's a weird stat to think that in his first 4 starts that he's 4-0. But I have to go with the Eagles. The Eagles are definitely the better team at this point. I don't know. Just go to the next one. I don't know what else to say about that.
I don't want to talk about the next one. It's a good thing I'm not talking about it. You're talking about it, and then we can wrap this thing up. It is the Denver Broncos at the LA Chargers.
All right, so the Broncos, we all know what happened with that Broncos game. Just straight dookie of a game. It is tough to say, but Russell Wilson is just not having himself a year. He keeps saying, let it ride. Well, where are we going to ride it to? Like, the retirement center or what? And then on the other side, the Chargers are just, they lost Nick Bosa and one of their tackles, and
Joey Bosa. Nick Bosa's on the Niners.
Oh yeah, Bosa, the other Bosa, yeah. But I feel like the Chargers have a better chance. That's in LA. They just definitely feel like the better team in this division compared to the Broncos. And Broncos are just straight dookie, as Ben would say.
What do I keep saying, Chris, about the Broncos' overall standings at the end of the season?
They're always in the bottom.
They're going to be fourth place in their own division. So give me the Chargers.
I don't know. Maybe if the Raiders don't do something, maybe the Raiders might be the fourth place team. And sorry, DJ, just saying.
Yep. Well, speaking of the Raiders, they are on a bye this week, as well as the Lions, Titans, and Texans. So that's why we aren't going to be talking about them. But that also concludes this episode. Chris, thank you so much for coming on, man. I really appreciate you doing these shows with me. I get lonely, man. I get lonely and I start yawning and I don't know how to cut it out. So it's just in the videos.
I know. I saw your video last week and I was like, dude, I feel so bad because like by the time you actually like started recording, I was already like knocked out that night.
Oh, dude, whenever you don't do it, this is not a conversation we should have on the screen because it stays in. But I'll peel back the curtain. I didn't start recording until almost 10 o'clock last week. So I got home and I just relaxed. So doing it right now, you're keeping me, keep going.
Yawning.
Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it, everybody. Those have been our NFL Week 6 picks. Do you guys disagree? Do you guys agree? Let us know down in the comments. If you enjoyed this, my name's been Nicholas Marcino, but if you did not enjoy it, my name's been Justin Bieber. And that's the final score. Thank you and good night.
Justin Bieber.